Hey, Coach Neisha here. So I wanted to come out here and just have a quick conversation around what betrayal feels like. So I'm a coach, and what I do is I help women not betray themselves. And I do this by helping them not shame or neglect themselves. So, when I thought about this question, because I was meeting with one of my senior coaches yesterday, shout out to Drew Cost, um, and he's from the Coach Kelly J team. So I was wrestling with this question: what does betrayal feel like? So I'm somebody who unfortunately didn't even realize that I was betraying myself for a long time. My life had become so normal. I didn't know that there was another way. And I think that that's the first thing, that you don't even realize that there's another way until you see other people. And I'll say especially other women. I would look at other women who would come into rooms and they would speak openly about what they felt, what they thought, without concern for what anybody else might think about it in the room, right? And that was like, wait, what? How do you do that? And I'll be honest, right? Like, I'm a woman of color, and I'm an Afro-Latina. So I can recognize that there was this thought of like, okay, so like, if I start speaking out, I'm gonna look like the angry black woman, right? And that's stereotypical thought. And it was just like, okay, like that's what it means to open up your mouth, right? And I had many negative examples of people who would speak without considering others, right? And they just wanted to be heard. And so for me, it was just this idea of like, I just don't want to be heard at all, right? Because, if I speak, I'm taking energy, I'm taking space from somebody else. Like, I need to be small, right? So that's betrayal. You don't even realize that you think that life is supposed to be like, I'm walking around like thinking, like living my life, like I'm at the store and I'm immediately thinking like, oh my gosh, what does this person like, oh, I don't want to bump in to this person, so let me steer this way, let me make sure that I'm not doing this thing, or let me oh, I'm at the cashier, oh, let me do it this way to make it easier for them, right? So right, and there's a difference between being considerate, right, of someone, but there's a difference of when you're constantly, every single time you're thinking, it's about somebody else. Like, never in my brain was there a moment that felt okay to just think about me, to just be like, oh, like, what do I want, what do I need, what do I think? Like, no, it was like, okay, I'm an older sister, let me make sure that my example is aligning, because all these people are going to be affected by my decision. It was like everything in my brain was about somebody else. Like, what would the church think about this? What will my family think about this? What will a potential partner, what, like, everything, right? There wasn't a moment where it could be about me. And that's the thing, that you think that that's normal. You think that that's just how women are supposed to be. That's how you think that that's just like that's the norm. And like, we're Christian, that Christian women just have to be that way. And in reality, you don't even know that you've been betraying yourself all this time, because you were taught that betraying yourself was normal, that you're not supposed to have a voice, that you're not supposed to be, that your own reality, your own existence is okay to exist, and I'm coming on here as I've been in a long chapter of learning what it feels like to be uncovering the betrayal of self, because you've lived in dynamics and norms where that's okay. And it's time to give you a voice back and the inner you. So I'm here as Coach Neisha, as just Neisha, just saying, hey, like, if you are now like how I was, betraying yourself, you're not alone. And if you are at a place where you're like, man, I really need some help, I'm tired of being that person that I have not one moment of being able to think about me. I don't even know how to start because my whole life has been wrapped around everybody and anybody else. And maybe even as a woman of God, you're like, man, I don't is that betraying God? Does that make me not godly anymore if I start thinking about me? Isn't that selfish? Girl, I hear you. That's what I had to wrestle with for years. And I'm here to tell you that no, you're not betraying God and you're not selfish. Right? This is where the world is fallen and has taught you some things that weren't right. And you are a daughter of God and you are supposed to be seen. You're supposed to be a light on top of the table, to be seen, to reflect God, but to be seen, right? As a version of his creation. You. So Coach Neisha just wanted to share that for a moment and encourage you all. If you're like that there, you're not alone. Yeah, share a comment to this video and connect with me if you'd like to work with me. See ya.